right, so we're gonna start out with a pre-made loom. And what I'm doing is I cut an extra notch on each end tab, just cut it right in the middle on both sides. And then I use this really thin cotton string. We're gonna go like this. I'm gonna notch it through, put a piece of tape on it, like that. And I'm gonna get started. So what I do is I go straight down and hit that other notch, back up, so it's going up the back, and I'm gonna come back in through the same notch that I started. So this is what it looks like. So that gives it a full wrap on both sides. Then I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna establish, this is going to be the top. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. So it's going to go around and through this one, and then back down. So I'm going to the back, and I'm going down here into the next notch and straight up. So the bottom will always just be a wrap, just straight up and down, and the top will be a little bit fancier. So then I'm gonna go up to this notch. I'm gonna go behind this tab instead of in front of it. And then I'm going to take this down and then back, all the way back up into where I left off, and then over and then down. So this is going just straight down to the bottom, back up. I'm gonna go right here, and this time I'm going behind. So you're gonna go, so see how I loop it around, so this will go down, back up, and then this time the next one will be over. So it'll be behind, and then over, and behind, and then over, and it goes like that all the way across. So the reason I do this is it keeps your bottom, so the bottom is always just straight up and down. There's nothing fancy there. It makes it so that your bottom is more secure. You could do it over and over and over again, but I like it this way because it keeps my lines nice and straight, and I don't have any that are slanted. So I just came up here, so I came up the back to this one, and this time I'm going over, back down, hooking it, and then pulling it back up. This time it's going behind and down, and then back up, and then I'm going in front and then back down. So you're doing this all the way across. Wrap it from clear around. All right, so I'm getting almost to the end. I'm just gonna take it in through the middle and back down into these little half notches that I just cut. Back up, and then notch it, because you want those complete strips. And then I'm gonna take it about halfway and cut it. Grab a piece of tape, and I like to put it at a diagonal so I'm not tempted to really weave that in. Just pick up your strings and get that down. All right, so that loom is all set up to go. go. So this again is your top and this is your bottom. Okay, so we're starting here at the bottom. Make sure your pieces are separated out. So over, under, over, under, over, under. Just do that all the way across. And then what you're gonna do, I just pull it at an angle until you get to the end. You've got to pull that row all the way across. And you want to leave a tail because we're going to weave that back in. So just for the start, for the very first row, I would put your finger right there. You're going to pull this one over. You're going to make this arc. And then that'll help you not to make it too tight on the edges. So you're just going to push it down with your fingernails just to the bottom. You may have to just straighten out the first row. And note that I ended on over, so then I'm going to flip it. And my first row on the back should be under, so it's going to be opposite. So you're going to go back through that. Now, I'm gonna point this out. When you get to the point where you have your half string, you can do a couple of different things. You can just do them together or just ignore it. So I usually just do them together. So both of those will be an over. Don't get distracted by that because it could mess you up. And once you get it all the way across, you are going to try not to get it in a knot. All right, again, you're gonna wanna kind of guide it, pull it through at an angle for starters. All right, so when you get to the end of your string and you need to add more, what I do is what's called an end knot. I get my new group of string, put two ends together, do a loop, and then tuck the tail through the loop and pull the tail tight. You can always trim it up after the fact, but sometimes I like to just give it a nice little trim so it's not quite so large. And then you put your needle on and you continue weaving. Now I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a fancy way. So there's different types of weaving. So you've got your basic weaving, and make sure that you are, let me see if I can really zoom in here. Make sure that you're really scrunching them down with your fingers. Make it nice and tight, and that will give you your best bag. It won't leave any holes for things to fall through. And now this, I was going to show you the difference. So this is your regular over under basic weave pattern. And then this one is a little bit different, and it gives this really nice texture, if you can see that. Now, what you're working on here, what you're seeing on this side is actually going to end up being the inside of the bag. So it'll look different when you get it off the loom. But anyway, so how I'm doing this, the more complex weaves do take a little more time to do, but they're well worth it. And I like to do them as a little accent here and there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I take my yarn, and as you can see here, I have, let me see if I can zoom in even closer. So what I'm doing is I'm going behind one string, and then I take my needle and I kind of loop back around, and I kind of take it to the next string, and I pull it through all the way. So that you can see how it loops around. See how that loops around? So I was going underneath that first string. So then it goes like that, and then I just push those down. So again, now I have it, I've set up my next string, so I'm going under. Now there are several different, this is just one of the techniques I kind of like. So I'm going under and over to the next one and pulling it through. So I'm doing an under. So it goes like this, and pushing it down. I'll show you that again. So you've got your string, it's already behind, and then I just go under two, like that, pull this down, grab hold, pull it through, keep it in the picture frame. And then I just push it down like that. So nice and tight, and you just keep going like that all the way around. And as you can see, oops, maybe you can't see, I did take it onto the other side. So I'm just going to keep going as far up as I want, and then I will add, I'll show you the next step in a minute.